In this video, I finished the job of dropping the rear suspension. I'm going to put the springs back in, put the differential back in place, get this old girl back on her feet, and we can then see what she looks like with her new lowered stance. Can't wait. Coming right up. So here is my freshly refurbished back leaf springs. They certainly look good. New polyurethane bushers. The straps have been replaced. Apparently the set has also been checked. So that old sag is probably gone now. Hopefully we're going to find out when we put the truck back on its feet. Yeah, the refurbishment was done by Spring Tech Center in George. Thanks, Michael. Michael has promised me that if I'm not happy with the stance, he will happily help me to fine-tune the springs if need be, but we're going to find out. We decided to cut the load springs. Let me just zoom in for you so you can see from closer. So yeah, no more load springs. They used to sit out here somewhere. We had a chat about it. This old girl is now entering her golden years. She's definitely not going to be loading a ton or more anymore. And we made the call and decided it's not necessary. So yeah, let's see how it turns out. I've got the differential sitting on a jack. The springs are now going to go underneath the differential is going to sit on top of the springs. These springs has got an orientation. It's got a specific side that's forward, so that's something to keep in mind. So my first action is going to be to attach the back end. To get it in the bracket here. Let me try this. Almost. I'm going to put a little bit of red rubber grease on my bolts to prevent squeaks. And that should go in. There we go. Nice tight fit, which is exactly what we want. There you are. Okay, so the back ends of the leaf springs are attached, both sides. Before I can attach the front, I obviously need to jack the diff up. Let's see how that turns out. Hopefully it's balancing well. Okay, it's only going up on the one side, but that's cool. Okay, that differential is balancing precariously. Let's see. Hey, don't make any noises. This stuff is carefully balanced on the jack. Let's see if we can get this other bolt in. I'm just giving it a little bit of grease quickly. Okay, let's try. Up. Looking good. A little bit more back. Okay, I'm not quite lined up. I must just pull it back a little bit. Maybe now. Bit more. Okay, let's see if the bolt will go. It's not looking bad. Come on. Nope, not yet. Come on. Come on. There we go. That one in place. Just got to find my hammer. Which of course is lying here on the other side. Fantastic, left spring is in place. Let's do the same on the other side. Okay, I got both springs in. The diff is still sitting on the jack. And as you can see, the diff is now on top of the springs. Okay, close up. Here's the original spring perch that was used when the differential was sitting under the spring. I of course made new ones. That's gonna sit there. You can see a video about that in the link up on the screen. So I have not welded this on yet. I first want to see some stuff about pinion angles. We'll talk about that later. So I'm just going to sort of do a test run for now. My new spring perch brackets are in place on both sides. They are located by the bolt, that center bolt that holds the spring leaves together. So now I can just lower my differential with the jack so that it can sit nicely in the spring perch brackets, and it's probably going to rotate. Oh, it's not. Okay. So that's what we have now. The diff is resting on top of the spring. Original spring perch bracket. You can see the spring is working. I've decided to leave this in place. No need to take it off. If you ever wanted to change back to original, you could do it. There's the new spring perch bracket. Now currently, because it's not welded in place, the diff can rotate. So the important thing is to decide where it needs to sit, because that relates to the pinion angle. I can say let's use this as a reference to make it exactly the same as what it was before. But I'd like to check it out a little bit further, so for now I'm not going to weld it on. I'm just going to install the U-bolts now, temporarily, and then we'll play with pinion angles later. I don't have the transmission or the engine in place at the moment, so I can't do that now. But at least when I've got the U-bolts in place, I can get this girl back on her feet. So let's get the U-bolts in place. And the bottom bracket. Okay, that's one. And it's friend that side. Okay, hand tight, but it's in place. Maybe just an important thing to mention here, eh? This bracket's not welded on. So obviously where it welds on is going to determine if the differential is central. So when I do come to weld it on, I'll just make sure that the distance between there and here is exactly the same on both sides before I weld it. Let's tighten these nuts a little bit, and then we can stick the wheels on. I bought the truck with these old big ass BF Goodrich tires, good tires, but 33 by 12.5. It's a little bit big for what I want to do now. I'll have to save them for another project. I happen to have these lying around. You can see it's a little bit smaller. This is a 265 75 15. So we're just going to try it now with this. But because of the smaller diameter, I'm going to get probably another inch or so in drop. This is not going to be the final tire or rim. I'm just trying it out now. 15-inch rim, 33 by 12 and a half. 15-inch rim, 265/75. I can also get a 265/60 15, which will go, the diameter on that tire is 687. So that's gonna put me about roughly there somewhere. Diameter still smaller. I'm gonna drop even more. I like that. So that's all if I stick with 15-inch rims. I've got some 15-inch rims. I might stay there. Yeah, I'm gonna experiment a little bit, but gotta change. Let's get some feet onto this old girl so we can stick her on the floor. Hoop. Here we go. So yeah, this is just a temporary setup, like I said. Just want to get this truck on the floor so we can just have a look. A moment of truth. Let's get the truck off the trestle. Jacking under the diff, so we're busy compressing the springs as they take up the weight. There we go, we're lifting off the trestle. And slam time. There we go. And she's clear of the jack. Yeah, you know, shops are never big enough. I can't get the camera back enough to get the whole truck in. But there we are, she's on her feet. She's sitting very much ass down at the moment because the front is still on trestles. But yes, we've dropped 6 inches because of the flip of the diff on top of the leaf springs, and currently we got another inch because of the tire change. So yes, we're getting there. I'm happy. Just another quick shot then of what we have now. Differential sitting on top of the springs, which has caused a 6-inch change in ride height, and a C-notch in the chassis to provide space for suspension travel. How does a mouse eat the elephant? One tiny bite at a time. Guys, thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like button if you found some value here. Even subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.